So this is a part of our program that I know is very difficult for a lot of people, but it is incredibly important for us as patients and as survivors. And this year is a little bit different. We had a very, I'd say, very difficult year overall in terms of those that we have lost this year. So before we actually do the in memoriam, I wanted to just speak very briefly about someone who was very special to my gut feeling. So this is just a very quick and nowhere near the tribute that Abby deserves. And I can't even say the words, but I never thought that someone who I actually only met in total, in person, less than 6 times would have such an effect on my life, on our organization's life, as well as on the lives of so many young women who have been diagnosed with cancer. So I just want to. So this is Abby's story. I'm not going to go into it. I think just to say that she was diagnosed at 27 with stage 4 and was given very, very, very little hope. She wasn't happy with the team that she had, or she felt uncomfortable. And she reached out to us pretty much at the beginning of her journey. And we helped to facilitate and helped her to move on to a new team and begin her journey with stage 4 stomach cancer. One of the things that Abby did was, she created what's called Stomach Cancer Sisters, and we spoke a little bit about that this morning. And her and Lexi, who are both about the same age, mid to late 20s, 27, I believe, were both diagnosed with stage 4, and they wanted to bring awareness and bring a place where young women who were going through stomach cancer could go to each other and talk to each other and share the things that they needed to share, the different experiences that a young woman going through, and most of them are stage 4, unfortunately, or stage 3. So it's always a much more difficult journey at that point. Anyway, this started as Instagram posts that then became this Facebook group of about 30 women, and you'll hear more about it later in a different perspective. But it was Abby's sort of push to want to help and talk about things and make sure that women had a voice, and younger women had a voice who, were either misdiagnosed or not listened to. And so they created the Stomach Cancer Sisters, and this group is now over, I think I mentioned that earlier today, over 400 women internationally. But Abby was more than, she was just an incredible young woman. As she was going through her treatment and her chemo, her first thought was that she wanted to do something to give back to us. And so when her company, every year they do I think a holiday giving to a charity or a nonprofit, she wrote this lovely letter, and she basically put our name out as the recipient for a matched giving with I guess staff, and the company would match. And we were incredibly touched by this because of, I don't know how many I think they had received 30 or 40 or 50, I don't know. There was quite a number of submissions, but they picked hers. And we were given a very generous donation of $10,000. And that was because of Abby's self-advocacy, her wanting to help, her knowing how much work needed to be done for young women and for anyone who goes through stomach cancer. Abby was incredible because she loved life. And no matter how sick she was or you know, if she was going through chemo or whatever, she just loved life. In the year that she was going through all the different treatments, and then she was, they gave her the option. She removed her, she had a gastrectomy. She traveled to Italy with her partner, and her and Casey got engaged. And so just from what she wrote at the end of December 2021, a whole year of the most rewarding and hardest year of my life, full of so many adventures, memories, love, laughter, tears, and life. I do not regret anything. I cherish it all. I have grown tremendously and continue to do so. I am in awe of my body and all its accomplishments, and I cannot tell you what she went through. Physically, it was just incredible. If there's one thing I could persuade anybody to do in the new year, is to live your life in the moment and to the fullest. Life is too precious and yet so fragile. Life is a gift, one worth fighting for every day. And she did. She fought every day from the day she was diagnosed. These are, sorry. My apologies, I'm not good with these things. These are just some images, and you can tell the type of person she was. She always had a smile on her face, even when she joined a group and she was feeling horrible. Like, she would join the group and she would literally light it up because she always had this smile on her face. And she just absolutely refused to give up. If they said no, if a doctor said no, it's not going to work, she was like, no, we're going to find a way. She couldn't initially get her immunotherapy covered. She went on a social media rampage to the point that her insurance company covered everything, which was, at the time, it was $10,000 per treatment. So it was like $10,000 a month, which she was paying by herself. So she just did not give up. And she tried everything that they threw at her. She took it in and she just fought for it. And she was the most amazing young advocate that I've ever met. She was really sick at this time. I think she actually had just had her surgery. And so for those of you, a full gastrectomy of someone who is a stage 4 does not happen all that often. So it was a very positive thing at the time, but she went through a lot. But she was quite frail after it, and she wasn't feeling great, but she still managed to get all of the stomach cancer sisters to pose and take pictures and do a very personal thing for our Stomach Cancer Awareness Day. She joined every single virtual group until about a few weeks before she passed away. She was always there, always giving advice. She would say, look at me, I lost all my hair, but I found this trick on how to make it look like you have more hair. And so she would show it and she would say, see, it looks great, doesn't it? And she always made sure she had lipstick on, and she was just a really, really bright light. Unfortunately, she passed away. And she passed away in March, just before, I mean, she would have been 30 in October. And for me, and for Katie, I think it was one of the biggest losses we have ever gone through. I think because we knew her right from the beginning, and we went through her entire journey with her, but also because of the fact that it wasn't just about her. For her, it was about helping others, and that's all she wanted to do, was she wanted to make sure that nobody was unheard or that nobody was misdiagnosed, and that everyone could fight for what they believed in. So we honor a lot of the people that have passed, and you'll see that in the next video. But we felt that this year we just wanted to pay a tribute to Abby. Abby, we miss you, and you will always be with us through the Stomach Cancer Sisters, and you'll always be a part of My Gut Feeling. And our hearts go out to her fiance Casey, and her parents, and her sister, and we just love you, girl. And so our next one, sorry, this is not the best part of it, is the In Memoriam. So I will step away.
Thank you, everyone that stayed for the moment of silence. This is perhaps the most difficult part of our night. Thank you to all the families that submitted the photos. To everyone, we will remember you.